solvers, just like constantly testing yourself. So how's the
Yeah.
learning process doing or
Oh,
going with
I
this
mean,
era?
yeah, it's at least for poker, there's a bunch of different ways you can study and learn. And the most effective way, at least for the online environment, to an extent, at least for certainty standpoint, would be like using and playing against the solver, because the solver effectively gives up no win rate. It doesn't give up any EV. So if you learn how to effectively not give up EV, your win rate might not be the highest, but you're not losing. And that's kind of the big deal about solver work and things of that nature. So if like it's almost like poker is becoming a memorization path at the top, but there's always going to be games where that's not the case. And there's always like it's always going to be possible to have a profitable career at lower stakes games where games are softer and you don't necessarily have to memorize certain boards and textures and things of that nature. But there is a threshold where all of the best players are just using solvers by default. And all the good regs understand that, and solvers and things of that nature. And recreational players at lower stakes games are still not either aware or cognizant or even know what they are and how detrimental to the logical part of the game it actually is. Because the solver is basically like the AI is a brain. So like
Yeah.
if you know how to master the solve, you now have a brain. And part of the glory of poker back in the day was people were kind of firing at each other with their intuition and like willpower and heart of like running a barrel because they think it works or they want it to work or whatever reason. For now, you can effectively quantify how good that is based on EV. And that's why there's going to be a point in a threshold where you don't need solver work to be as good as you can, but you are going to need it against tougher competition, just because